Welcome back to the Power Six Podcast. Here's your host, Isaiah Rose.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another Power Six podcast. This is a tough week for most of the Power Six crew as we ventured out to Boulder, Colorado, and got our fannies waxed against the Colorado Buffaloes. For those of you on YouTube, you might see we are using Google. What is this? Google Meets now.
Google
Zoom,
Hangouts.
Google Hangouts. Zoom no longer likes us or likes Max. UNO just kicks us out when you graduate, I guess. So we are now using Google Hangouts, so the it'll look a little different for those of you on YouTube. Max, let's just get this thing rolling.
Yes, let's do that. Let's roll right into this thing. Devin, you said, is there a time limit on the recording on this?
We don't have a time limit anymore.
It's awesome.
We can go for 24 hours if we wanted to.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Well, this should be a relatively fast
Power
pod
Six
anyway.
Marathon.
But we'll get right into things. Normal schedule this week. So week 2 reaction: Nebraska loses at Colorado 36-14. Like Isaiah mentioned, Power 6 was there besides the Iowa fan Connor, but that's okay because Connor got a win this weekend and we didn't. So that's very unfortunate. Takeaways from this game: it's really pretty simple to me. The turnovers once again really cost Nebraska. 4 fumbles lost, an interception thrown. None of them were even forced by the defense. Not the interception was straight into the defender's hand too. And our offense just completely left our defense out to dry, which really, really sucked.
Can't win football games like that.
No.
If Colorado's defense was at least forcing some of these turnovers, I could maybe put up an argument for that, but it was just us dropping the football and throwing it straight to them. So can't win football games like that.
No, our offense looked absolutely terrible. Our defense looks really good. We had 8 sacks in that game. We are now leading the nation in sacks, but we have no offense to help out our defense. You're not going to win football games that way. Just simply plain sound.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because one of my biggest concerns, if not my biggest concern heading into this year, was our defensive line. And they've played absolutely amazing. They lead the nation in sacks right now. We are giving up, through the first 2 games, 1.9 yards per carry. And we're averaging 5 yards a carry. If you would have told me all those statistics, I would have told you that we're probably 2-0. But then if you told me that we'd be averaging a turnover per quarter to those first 2 games, I would tell you, well, then we'd be 0-2. And that's exactly the case. We're really a quarterback away from being a lot better than we are, which really sucks because it feels like it's been that case for a while, or been that way for a while. I can't. Were you saying something, Devin? We can't.
Yeah. Yep. I was muted. I completely agree. I think we're a quarterback away from being a really good football team. Our offense just needs to find a way to put it together and score some points. I'm not wishing anything ill on Jeff Sims for him getting hurt towards the end of that game, but we could maybe look at it as a blessing in disguise for this Nebraska offense because we'll get to see Harburg and Purdy and really see what they're made of over the course of these next couple weeks. As I believe Matt Rhule said, 4 to 5 weeks, give or take, on Jeff Sims' ankle, depending on how he progresses. So I think this would be something that could give our offense, a chance to find its spark and see how the backup quarterbacks perform.
Did you? Where did you hear that from? I heard Jeff Sims was day-to-day.
In Rhule's press conference on, what was it, yesterday, they asked about it, and he said, and Rhule said it wasn't a typical high ankle sprain that was going to keep him out for an extended period of time. They were looking more so at the 4 to 5 week range. And then he also said he hadn't seen him, so he hadn't been able to talk to him about it. I don't know how severe his injury is, and I'm just kind of going off of what Matt Rhule had said.
I'm gonna go back. I don't know. I thought he said he was day to day. I didn't hear it. I thought he said it's not a high ankle sprain 4 to 5 week situation.
The way Rhule said it in the press conference is that it was not a typical high ankle sprain that keeps you out for a long period of time. So, and that kind of brings me back to a point where it almost just seemed like Jeff Sims wanted to get out of that game. He didn't want to throw another football. He didn't want to make another mistake. And so maybe they kind of chalked up the severity of the injury a little bit, and he may be day to day. He may be able to go this weekend if he's cleared. I'm not sure, but Rhule did say if Sims is healthy, he is the starter.
I just want to say, speaking on quarterbacks, it would be nice to see kind of what the backups are able to do. As of right now, it seems like Jeff Sims is the only guy Rhule wants to play. So it'll be interesting to see how good those backups are. And we listened to the Nick Bob podcast on the way home, and I can't remember exactly what quarterback it was, but he came in like 3 or 4 weeks into the season. I think it was Joe Gans. If correct me if I'm wrong, Brad was in the car with me, but Joe Gans came in like 3 or 4 weeks into the season, and he was the guy. They didn't start him right away, but he ended up being the guy that the team could rely on. So you never know. We might have a quarterback like that in our room, but we'll see.
Yeah, Joe Gans was the man.
Yeah.
I'd mentioned, because we were listening to it too, that Joe Gans was the last quarterback that I did not feel scared when he dropped back to pass the ball. And I actually kind of felt that with Casey Thompson too. It's really unfortunate that we drove Casey Thompson out of town, because when he stepped back to throw the ball, I was actually, excited to see what was going to happen. Of course, Trey Palmer helps, but nonetheless.
Yeah. I have a lot of PTSD from our previous quarterbacks that every time they drop back to throw the ball, I'm like, hopefully this is going to our team and not the other team. So,
yeah. Interceptions and fumbles, turnovers have just been a killer for this program for a long time. In fact, one of the most unbelievable stats in all of sports is that since 2004, Nebraska is minus 105 in the turnover margin. That leads all of college football. The next closest team, we're minus 105. The next closest team is minus 55. It is not even close. And then after that, it's like minus 52 and like 50 and 40. You know what I mean? It's like what you'd expect from number one. It's pretty close. Nebraska is nearly double from the next, and then everyone is sort of gradual after that. It is incredible how much turnovers have killed this program over the last 2 decades now. There's not a team even remotely close to as bad as that.
That's actually an insane stat.
It is.
Do you know who has the most positive?
I actually don't, but I would be curious about that. And I wonder
what the ceiling is for that. Like, who's at the most positive?
I'm gonna see if I can find that out. I bet it's a team with a really good record over that span. That's how you win games.
Would it be Alabama?
Could be.
Could be. Not sure. Since 2004, so it'd have to be a team that's been pretty good for a while. We could continue to talk about turnovers and the quarterback situation for Nebraska all night if we really wanted to, but I would like to talk about some of the positives from that game. I thought our defense played really well. They got tired towards the end of the game because they were out there nearly the entire second half. Holding Travis Hunter to only 3 catches for, I believe, 73 yards. I'm not sure if that was the actual number or not, but just completely locked him down on the offensive side of the ball, I think, in my opinion. And it showed. Colorado struggled to score points in that first half, and even for the majority of the third quarter, they didn't score a whole lot. It just kind of came down to our guys getting tired and the floodgates opening up from there. I would like to see our defense start to commit some turnovers. We need to force some turnovers on that side of the ball to get our offense back on the field. If I remember correctly, we have 1 interception, maybe a second one in that Minnesota game.
Yeah, we have 1 pick, and then we have 1 recovered fumble. We have
just getting that defense to force some turnovers, I think, would really be the cherry on top for them.
I completely agree, Devin. I think it would only help if our offense was actually able to sustain drives, flip the field, and have opposing offenses, have to try to drive more. That'd give our defense some chance for that. I think the Omar Brown interception against Minnesota was on, like a 60-yard drive. They started with the ball at like the 20 or something. So it helps too when the other team has to run more plays instead of starting at the 30-yard line. So yeah, I agree
Yeah,
though.
it doesn't.
Really like where the defense is at.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it doesn't help our defense at all if the offense is turning the ball over, especially if it's in plus territory for the opposing team. So our offense just needs to, take better care of the ball, because it sucks because we do have a pretty good defense. We really do. But the defense can only do so much if the offense isn't going to produce.
Another quick side note too before we move on, and it's not even remotely the reason we lost that game, but the officiating was pretty spotty in that game. And I went back and watched some of it too. And there was like that phantom personal foul call on Nebraska. Travis Hunter ran into the sideline. Our guy stuck his hand out. Travis Hunter kind of flailed. It wasn't even a flop on Travis Hunter. No clue what the ref saw, but he called a personal foul. No roughing the punter, roughing the kicker on Buschini. That was crazy.
I do think he was blocked into Buschini after watching that back. It kind of looked like one of our guys had ran into him and kind of nudged him into Buschini a little bit.
I remember watching that play, and I thought that was a bad call.
The roughing the kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the Colorado.
I thought for sure that was going to be a penalty.
Yeah, I thought, and they didn't show a replay or anything on the broadcast. I thought the Colorado dude made zero effort to miss the punter and just absolutely fucking wasted Buschini. So, and there's some other calls too in there that, again, just didn't make sense. Really, really shaky. I think they were scared of being on Prime's receipt list. The rest were. So
that is a nationwide story. Props to Colorado's offense. I do think they played really well. Shedeur,
Shedeur is legit.
He is a very good quarterback. I'm excited to see how he plays when they go up against, maybe a top 10 defense, and playing, another ranked opponent and see how that all plays out. But yeah, Shedeur is a stud. He is the real deal. Not a big fan of the comments he was making after the game. I think it's a little bit of an MJ mindset, making a false narrative to help motivate you. But props to that Colorado offense, and I'm ready to get on to Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's going to have a season a lot like USC this year, where Shedeur Sanders is just going to carry that team.
He's going to kind of need to,
He's really good. He is really, really good.
Yeah, without Shedeur, that offense isn't really doing a ton.
They aren't even they aren't even good.
No.
They're a bad offense. Without Shedeur Sanders, they aren't even good.
Yeah, it actually is crazy because they have zero run game, and they have some skill receivers, no doubt, and then they have an incredibly good quarterback, and then they have a defense that's below average. So, yeah, it's a difference a really good quarterback can make. We found that out big time in that game. The quarterbacks are switched in that game. I think Nebraska wins handily. So, just interesting how that works. But we'll move on from that. Like I said, Lindy will join later. He'll have more to say. But we'll move on to some other results from the weekend. We'll start with the biggest results, so we make sure we hit it. Texas beats Alabama 34-24 in Tuscaloosa, gets revenge over the 20-19 loss last year. And Texas looked really good. Their defensive line dominated that game. Their offensive line dominated that game, and Quinn Ewers looked really good. So.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers had himself a game. When they played Rice the week before, they talked about Quinn Ewers' struggle to throw the deep ball. They said he was on, I think, 20% on balls that were down the field 20 yards or more, and he just was absolutely floating the football into the end zone for their guys to get. And so they played a flawless game. You got to beat Alabama, but on the other hand, I think Alabama played really sloppy. It was the same story last year. They had a lot of penalties. I think there were a lot of miscues on their side of the ball, and it cost them the football game.
Yeah, Texas did look really good in this game just overall. Quinn Ewers was dropping dimes. Receivers were getting open. And like you guys said, Alabama, they looked sloppy. They didn't look like, your typical Alabama team.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of a Nick Saban team. Completely agree. And Texas climbed in the rankings too, which we'll look at the AP poll in a little bit. What else stands out? There wasn't anything like super crazy. Utah hangs on against Baylor. Kansas looks good.
I was going to comment on Utah because last week I thought they were just going to blow Baylor out of the water. And they had 2 late touchdowns like the last 5 minutes of the game that, gave them the win. So I was very surprised about that. Devin, you got something to say about that game?
I think Baylor just prepared it in all the right ways leading up to that game. I think Utah is a better football team than Baylor, but I think Baylor just executed a little bit better on some of those plays, and they just weren't able to close it up. I thought Oregon was going to blow out Texas Tech, only ended up winning 38-30. So there were a lot of games on the slate this weekend that were enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, going back to the Oregon game, like that was a dogfight. Luckily they got the pick 6 at the end of the game to help me win my parlay. But yeah, Oregon, they did look in trouble there for a little while.
Ole Miss beat Tulane. That was a really good game. I think Tulane is a really good team this year. Just barely lost that one.
Ole Miss year.
Sam Hartman's averaging 4 touchdowns a game, which is pretty cool for Notre Dame. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they fare. I think it is next weekend. They got Ohio State.
Oh yeah, next weekend's slate is like what top 5 college football slate I've ever seen. Can't wait for next weekend.
So I'm really hoping that they can dial it in for one more game, and then I don't think Ohio State's personally as good as they have been in recent years, but I'm very excited for that game. That's already going to be my game of the week.
Hey, Devin, you said his name wrong.
Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman.
I'm not calling him that.
Sam DeHartman.
Sam DeHartman.
How about Iowa beats Iowa State 20-13? We didn't get to watch that because we were obviously roaming around Boulder getting heckled. How'd that game go, Connor?
Oh, we took down our little brothers. It was pretty easy. It was kind of like the same as last week. Just got up to like a really hot start and then kind of just coasted the rest of the game. Off like scoring wise, just slowed it down, tried to run as much clock off as possible. And we were really in control the whole game though, but some things that stuck out to me was our running back, Jazion Patterson. We thought he was going to be the third string, but he's looking like he could become the number 1 back. Played a lot better than I thought Caleb Johnson did. So, yeah, but other than that, I think the offense is looking a lot better even than last year, even though they're still not scoring a ton of points.
And so are they trying to...
The team definitely has a lot different feel than last year.
It looks like they're trying to not help out Brian.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like they could have scored more points, but they just didn't.
Connor, was there a pick 6 in this game, or was it all offensive?
There
points?
was a pick 6.
Whew. So only 13 offensive points.
Yeah.
I think it's just total points. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
It is,
Yeah.
But still, 13 points for the offense.
I will continue to bet the under on Iowa until they prove me otherwise.
We really don't, as Nebraska fans, do we have a room to talk? Nebraska is averaging less points a game than Iowa is right now.
It's true, but that's not the point.
Brad's not talking as a Tusk fan. He's talking as a better.
I'm talking as a better.
Iowa State also had one
Two
of the
things
top
could be true.
defenses last year.
Yeah. I think Iowa will get it out here as the season goes on.
I think Iowa for next week is going to score a lot of points offensive wise against Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brian Ferentz is going to have that chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to score. They're, like you said too, Connor. Their offenses they've looked better than the amount of points they've scored. They've scored.
I think they've just kind of taken control of the game, and Kirk's just like, I don't give a fuck about the Bryant Ferentz points tracker. We're coasting this game
out. Washington State beat Wisconsin. That one was in Pullman, Washington, 31-22. Wisconsin, like you said, Headley, we thought they were national championship favorites this year. But unfortunate loss there for the badge.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on that game. We didn't get to watch it, but is Wisconsin as good as everybody's making them out to be? You know, they struggled against Buffalo in week 1.
I mean, they got beat by Washington State last year.
Yeah.
I think Washington State's just got a good coaching game plan set up against Wisconsin. You limit Braylon Allen's touches and keep him under control, and they're a beatable football team.
Wisconsin just hired their Bill Callahan. They have
Could be true.
They have 25 years of pain coming their way.
Yep. I still
25
think
or more years. We don't know when it's going to end.
yeah, I
could
still
go
think
on
that's
forever.
a huge mistake in not hiring Jim Leonard.
Or in just firing Paul Christ. I mean, even you know.
Yeah, they fired their Bo Pelini.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was mistake number one right there, is firing Paul.
Can't have one little down year. I mean, geez, we've seen this mistake before. Anyway, moving on from the weekend though. Quick AP poll reaction. I'll say the same thing I said last week. Florida State should be number 1. Texas should be number 2. But instead, they're 3 and 4 because Georgia and Michigan remain number 1 and 2. Also, this is the first time since
Georgia
I think.
and Michigan.
Go ahead, Headley.
Georgia and Michigan have the easiest schedules ever.
Yeah.
Every year, it's Georgia and Michigan starting off with the easiest team. They're pulling out colleges I did not know exist, and they're playing them for the first 3 weeks of the year.
Hey, they're getting their cupcake games out of the way so they can get it cracking like an eggshell.
Yeah, Michigan plays Bowling Green this Saturday. Georgia, however, does play South Carolina this Saturday. That's a 2:30 CBS game. SEC on CBS is Georgia, South Carolina. Maybe they'll get a little tested. But yeah, it's like if the voters are just going to keep them there as of now, they're just going to be there for the whole year. So I don't know. But I was going to say this. I think this is the first time since 2017 that the top 5 in the AP poll is one team each from the different Power 5 conferences. SEC, Michigan, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, and then USC rounding it out number 5 in the Pac-12, which is cool to see. A lot of parity in there. Yeah,
It's bittersweet because these conferences will no longer exist come next year with the Pac-12 kind of disintegrating and the Big 10 and the SEC just becoming juggernauts. And so I think it's really cool to see for this being the last year.
Yeah, Pac-12 is going out on a high note. They lead the nation right now with 8 teams in the top 25. That's 8 out of their 12 teams, top 25, because Washington State and UCLA jumped in there. That's the most they've had in conference history. And that is a third, obviously just shy, but pretty much a third of the top 25 is out of the Pac-12. So what a way to go out for that conference. Kind of sucks to see that go, actually. That's going to be a gauntlet of a conference this year. Iowa also back up in there, number 25 there.
And say Wazoo moved in there
We're
too,
back.
like you said.
And then Alabama down to 10. Kind of weird seeing them that low, but I don't mind it. And yeah,
That might be their lowest ranking in like 10 years.
yeah, it's down there.
Yeah.
They're not 10th or lower very often. But with that, let's get into the first segment of the week, the Tank and Bank of the week. And I'll start with the Tank. Hate to do it. He can make up for it. He really can. But it is Jeff Sims.
I like that tank, Max. My tank this week is my betting in Colorado. I only won $7 over the weekend. That's tough.
Could have lost, Gotta be positive there.
True, we're in the green.
Yeah.
We are in the green, but I was way more in the green before Sunday NFL.
Oh. That's fair.
My tank of the week is going to be Nebraska for the second week in a row. Where the tank. Really think that this is the worst possible start they could have had. I mean, they look they look pretty bad. They're never going to score a point.
Yeah, my tank is the same as Max. Jeff Petrus.
Oh no.
That's not good.
I was actually telling the fellas this weekend is that karma's coming back to get me because I spent so much time making fun of Petrus, and now Petrus is on our team.
Yeah, it's not good. My tank is going to be the classless Colorado students and the constant heckling and the drive-by heckling. You know, it's all fun and games during it, but after it's like, holy shit, I was exhausted. I was exhausted from it. So they were just really annoying.
And I hope CU Boulder gets hit with an asteroid, honestly.
Yeah.
My tank is going to be the Fox Sport Network for the not only the Big Noon kickoff. Absolutely could care less to ever go back to one of those. It was basically a frat party. There were people throwing up at 7 a.m. Tug of war.
It was more fitness.
A fraternity sorority tug of war thing going on, and then just the absolute. They're going to Colorado. They're going to be at Colorado for the third time. Well, they were in Fort Worth for the TCU game, and then they're in Colorado last week, and they're going back to Colorado for the Colorado State game. And the hype surrounded by them up on Twitter about, Travis Hunter gotten that dog in him for taking on a block from Borkature.
Yeah, and the
So
funny
what's that
thing about
about?
Big Noon kickoff is that's not even their game.
Yeah, that's sad.
That is sad.
They're riding so hard.
What's that thing about Borkature?
Fox Sports tweeted a clip of Borkature going after Travis Hunter and blocking him to the point that Travis Hunter lost a cleat and ripped Borkature's helmet off of him. And they captioned it, "It's not about the size of the dog in the fight, it's about the size of the fight and the dog."
They were hyping up Travis Hunter for getting bullied 20 yards down the field, completely taken out of a play by Nate Borkature.
Could you guys send that in the group chat?
It's in the Twitter group chat.
It's in the Twitter group chat. And then he got absolutely flipped by Fedoni.
Have they deleted Twitter?
Yeah, I'll send
I
it to you.
couldn't take it. I couldn't take the heat.
I'll send it to
I
you.
My
think
team getting tackled.
it was nice to see that we kind of bullied Travis Hunter, but it
We did.
does suck that Fox and everybody else in America is just riding some Colorado Schmeat right now and riding Travis Hunter.
Buff Schmeat.
Yeah.
The one good thing out of that was I did look at the replies, and there was probably 10 or more replies with more likes than the actual tweet from not even Husker fans about what is this post. There was people legitimately asking if they posted the wrong clip because Travis Hunter just got absolutely mutilated and committed a personal foul face mask.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Travis Hunter,
Which wasn't called, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking about officiating.
Travis Hunter is a great football player. There are plenty of highlights that they could have posted, and if they wanted to tweet something about him.
Yeah, Nebraska shut down Travis Hunter. He got 60 yards on one catch on a broken play.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he had 2 other catches for 20 yards. I sent a video in the Twitter chat too about him completely missing a block on that 4th down for Colorado. So yeah, our defense was, man, they played good. I love our defense. I bet our defense is so pissed every time they see Jeff turnover walk out onto the field. They got to be like, great. We have to defend a 30-yard field again.
Yeah, that was my tank. We can
not
to jump back onto the Colorado topic, but Fox Sports.
It's a good point, yes.
Tank.
That is a brutal post, dude. That is brutal.
Yeah, it's bad.
Travis Hunter's got to be texting them like, "Hey, can you take that one down, please?"
Shoe comes off and everything. Anyway, we'll move on to bank. My bank, keeping it simple. Texas, great win in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
My bank for the second weekend in a row is going to be my dog of the week, Wazoo.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We're never gonna hear the end of it.
Bad bank.
Oh, that's funny. My bank is also Texas. they've kind of been down in the dumps the last couple of years or last decade or so, and they up now. Next, Nebraska.
Texas Bank.
My bank is alternate spread, alternate total point parlays. Cash.
Good
We love
bang.
those.
Except Lamar Jackson touchdown. That
That
How
was
does
tough.
that not hit,
that was
man?
tough.
Alternate
Hey,
spread
what
and
about-
alternate total.
What about Nick
parlays,
Chubb?
cheat code.
How did Nick
we
Chubb
did-
not hit either? That's bullshit.
That is crazy. We did really good on the all spread, all total.
It's such a
parlay.
cheat code. It is awesome because you just
We
choose.
need to be betting that every Saturday.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna
oh,
continue.
we're gonna get those going. That start with that Friday night
Mhm.
Kansas one. You shave a little, shave some points off. You're good to go.
Give them a
It
couple.
sucks we don't have FanDuel now. That's we
just
gotta
gonna
use
Go to
Not
Brad's.
all.
We're going to Brad's.
the book.
Headley, the bookie has some alt spreads and totals.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
it's not
my
FanDuel.
bank's also going to be Texas. Figured that was pretty obvious. Going into Tuscaloosa and absolutely just tearing them apart. I think last year them losing was kind of personal. You know, they almost had it, and this year they turned it around and was able to walk out of there with a win.
I just remember what my actual bank was because I forgot, so I just said Texas. But last second Oregon cover, that was sick for my lock, and I won $60 off it. So awesome job, Oregon. I thought it was dead.
I also won a good amount of money on that too, Connor.
It was awesome.
All right, we're moving into the week 3 preview. Max, are you still there?
Oh, what are we gonna do without Max?
I think. Oh, Max is back now. Max
Am I
is
back? Am I back? Okay,
Oh, there it
we're
is.
good.
Max dead.
Brad also froze earlier when he was talking. It was kind of funny.
There's just some. Am I good though? Am I good now?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, you're good.
Next, let's get into the preview. No games besides the Husker game preview this weekend because the slate is pretty average, which is fine because next weekend the college football gods are gracing us with an unbelievable slate. So it's okay. We'll just hit some bets this weekend. It'll make it all worth it. But we'll just do Northern Illinois at Nebraska. Huskers right now favored by 11.5. The spread kind of opened all over the place. I saw it open on anywhere from 10 points to on DraftKings and FanDuel. It opened at 13.5, and now it's kind of settled at 11.5 to 12.5 most books. Which seems about right. Huskers got to win by 2 touchdowns, maybe a little less to cover. For me, the biggest key of the game is super simple. Just don't turn over the ball. Just get rid of the turnovers. If you turn the ball over,
So not simple.
yeah, no, it's not simple, but it is simple actually because it's fucking 7th grade football. Just catch the snap. Actually,
I actually have something to say about that. After work today, me and Matt went out in the backyard and just practiced snaps to each other, and we did not drop a single one. We executed every snap just fine. Long snaps, though, we were doing long snaps. Those did not go as well. But the normal snap we were handling them pretty good.
I think my biggest key to the game is going to be the quarterback position. I think Northern Illinois has a solid program. However, statistically on the schedule, there's one of our easiest opponents. I think if you're going to do anything experimental-wise with the quarterback position, this is the week. Let Jeff sit. Let him get healthy. However the severity of his injury, let Harburg and Purdy go at it and see what they can do. I think our defense and our run game is enough to win this game. Let them go out there and make some plays.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Devin. You know, if Jeff Sims really, if he is hurt, there's no point of getting him more hurt. Like you said, statistically, our best chance to win all year. Don't go out there, let him get hurt. Play the backups, see what the backups can do. Maybe we have the next Joe Gans. Who knows?
I would really love to see the defense create some turnovers. I mean, they're playing all around really good. Their tackling is great. Now, I just want to see him, maybe force some fumbles, get some interceptions, and just see how that side of the ball goes. I mean, everybody knows our offense is bad, and that's what needs to be better to win the game. So,
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, it'd be nice to see us win the turnover margin in a game for once.
We
Yeah.
found some funny stats about that in the car ride home. The last 3 times we won the turnover margin, we lost the game.
Is that we
Funny.
actually committed? We were curious, but yeah, we committed. There were 3 games last season where we 0 turnovers, and we did end up losing all 3. So even when we do that,
We did. We were positive against Iowa last year, and we won that game. So I take that back.
yeah, I don't remember Headley if we looked at positive. I just remember that we looked at the games when we had 0 turnovers.
One of them
Yeah.
was Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Yep. And Michigan was the other one. We had 0 turnovers against Michigan, but so
And
did they.
Wisconsin.
The good thing
Wisconsin.
about the Georgia Southern game is I think our defense is good enough to not allow 45 points at Memorial Stadium this year to a group of 5 team.
I was gonna say we got Michigan coming to town. I do think our defense is vastly improved. Tony White's system is working.
Yeah, Tony White's the man.
Yeah, our defense looks amazing. Like you said, Max, we're making tackles. It's not taking 2 or 3 guys to make a tackle now. We're making the tackle the first time. Our defense is vastly improved. That's my favorite part about this team right now.
Yeah, it's the best tackling I've seen on a Nebraska defense since probably those 2009, 2010 defenses that were really good. So
I love how they swarm to the ball as well.
Yeah, they're fast, man.
They're not counting on just one person to make a tackle and giving up. You know, that's rare that you don't see 2 or 3 guys falling on a player.
Yeah, and Northern Illinois last week faced FCS Southern Illinois, and NIU scored 11 points. So I think our defense has got to be salivating at that, thinking that they hold them to a few amount of points. And then Northern Illinois' quarterback is 6th-year senior Rocky Lombardi. Rocky Lombardi has played in Memorial Stadium before. Can you guys name me the team that he played for in Memorial Stadium?
Memphis.
Oh, it wasn't for Northern Illinois?
No.
Buffalo.
Transfer. No. He's a transfer quarterback.
Is it a Big Ten school?
It is a Big Ten school.
Michigan State.
It is Michigan State. It was 2018, the snow game that Scott Frost and Nebraska won 9-6.
I was at that game.
Lombardi in Michigan State. Yep.
I didn't even know that.
2018.
Dude,
Here he is
Nebraska
again.
owns Michigan State. Like, let's be honest.
That's the one team we
It's like
actually
the
do
only
own
team in the
Big
Big Ten we own them.
That's
It's
another
nice.
news. They got a whole other thing going on.
Oh yeah,
Fuck Michigan State, man. Quarterback's a criminal. Or no, who's the
Their coach is a criminal.
Huck is coming.
We need their
I've
quarterback.
loved so much. I'm just gonna bully the one team that's below us. That really is all I got these days.
Well, there's like 2 teams below us. There should be.
Not Northwestern.
We can bully Rutgers.
That's true. We can't.
I mean,
bully
everyone
Rutgers.
can.
Do
We
we
can bully
own
Mar-
Rutgers?
We can bully
We own
Maryland.
Rutgers.
We
Okay.
can bully Maryland. I think we're 2-0
I don't
versus
think
Maryland.
we own Maryland though.
I don't.
Pretty sure we're 2-0 since they joined the conference. Max.
I think we're 2-0, but I
honestly-
don't think we own them.
We won like 60-10 last time we played them.
I think we've only played them once, actually. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe it is 2-0.
Okay, even if it's 1-0, we beat the shit out of them last time we played Maryland.
Yes, that's true. We also beat Indiana last year by a couple scores. So let's bully Indiana too while we're at it. Anyway, though, let's move on. Real quick, game of the week. I'm going to go with one of the greatest rivalries in college football and one of the best rivalry names in college football. The Backyard Brawl. Pitt at West Virginia. They hate each other more than a lot of people hate each other. Going to be a great atmosphere for that night game in West Virginia. Game of the week.
That's a good game of the week. That's going to be a really fun game to watch. My game of the week is going to be Louisville versus Indiana. I think it's going to be a sneaky good game. Louisville is favored by 10, but I think Indiana is a lot better than people are writing them off to be. And the first game I watched of Louisville this year, they didn't look as good as I thought they would be. So I think it's going to be a sneaky good game. I think Indiana's going to cover, and I think it's going to be a 1-score game.
I actually did not have a game of the week going into this. I looked at the slate a couple times over. Nothing I'm really too pumped about, but I'm going to go with Michigan State, Washington, because they don't have a coach, and I want to watch them get thrashed by a top 10 team.
Yeah, I also got the backyard brawl. I think that's going to be a good game to watch. Even though there's no other good game this week, I think I'm going to take a break from football. One game.
I think it's a good week to have a break.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not really a lot of good games, so I'm gonna go with Iowa, Western Michigan. That's my game of the week.
Woo!
My game of the week is Minnesota at North Carolina. North Carolina hung on by their tailcoats against App State last weekend. I'm hoping that Minnesota can go out and show us that they're still going to be the same football team that they always are and are solid. So I'm hoping they go out and get a win. Be huge for the Big Ten.
And then lastly, some of the Power 5 teams playing in Group 5 this year. Wake Forest playing at Old Dominion. Iowa State's on the road at Ohio. Alabama, we talked about this one earlier. They're on the road, Group of 5 school playing USF. And then Oklahoma plays at Tulsa. I imagine that'll be quite a friendly Oklahoma crowd, though. And then Vanderbilt's in Las Vegas. And finally, Kansas, late night at Nevada.
That's insane that Alabama's playing at a Group of 5 school.
Yeah, I don't know that it's ever happened. Actually, Alabama played at Hawaii in 2003.
Imagine how hype it would be to go to USF like during that game, like being a student there.
Yeah, it'd be
lit.
Yeah.
And you get your ass kicked at the game, but you wouldn't care.
Yeah, you just be hyped. It's Alabama. But with that, we are now going to get into our locks, dogs, predictions, the best part of the episode. And we have joining us as our special guest this week, Andrew Lindemeier. What's going on, Andrew?
Lindy!
What's going on, boys? I've been waiting
What up,
for this
Lindy?
since probably like 3 o'clock on Saturday. Brad has the receipts, so.
Well, before we get started with you, Andrew, I want to say thanks for joining us. This is also Andrew's second year and third time on the podcast, like Redmond last week. We're glad to have you back, man.
Thank you. It's good to be back, Isaiah.
Andrew, we heard you had some takes on the Nebraska-Colorado game. Let's hear it.
Oh man. Well, okay. First of all, I don't want to be that guy, but as soon as they were, messing with the idea of bringing in Jeff Sims, I was completely against it. I was a huge Casey guy. He was coming off a huge W in Iowa, a great end of the season. Didn't have a great week last week for FAU, but had a great week the week before. Either way, still upset with that. But, it's Matt Rhule's first year. It's going to be okay. It's going to be a tough year. I almost compare it to the Mike Riley year where Tanner Lee was our quarterback. That was a tough year, but, we got through it. And we thought we were getting the savior. Didn't turn out to be that way. But, with everything I've seen with Matt Rhule, all I have to say is if he's gone after like 5 years, if Nebraska fans run him out, I'm also gone. I'm out. If Matt Rhule can't fix it, and if we don't give him the time, I'm out. I'm officially a K-State fan. Go Wildcats.
Dude, I agree with that. We got to give Matt Rhule his 8 years or whatever. No matter what happens, just give him his 8 years. Just
I agree.
Coach change ain't gonna do anything.
No, we've done too many coaching changes to try and fix it at this point. You gotta let a coach, progress his players and develop a program. We just obviously coach changes aren't working for us right now.
Yeah, exactly. And oh my God, don't even get me started on the whole Matt Rhule disrespecting the Colorado Buffalo logo. That made me want to throw up. That was stupid.
You guys hear Matt Rhule's statement on that?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
saw everything yesterday.
Yeah, that was not a good look for Stuart Sanders in that case, especially if Matt Rhule, which would have no reason to think he's lying, asked him to go over and pray with them. And there was a picture too that just looked like they were in a nice, calm gap. They're not like stomping on the logo or something.
Yeah.
They just midfield. Like, who cares?
He said they did it
Exactly.
for the Minnesota game too.
Yeah.
He said he does it. He
he's
said he
done
does
it
it every
everywhere
game.
he's been. Yeah, he's done it everywhere he's been. He did it at Baylor. He did it at Temple. Then like a video came out. I think it's like Nazi Smith of Michigan last year, who's like tearing up the Spartan logo at the 50-yard line. And I was like, okay, now that's uncalled for. But come
No,
on.
he was just praying. He was fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Shador, Sanders, Travis Hunter, and those guys, they better keep winning, or else people are gonna turn on them fast. But as long as they keep winning, anything they do is cool.
Another topic. Did anyone else see the Fox tweet of them saying whatever about Travis Hunter while Nate Forkicher is running
we
him
brought that up
20 yards
earlier.
downfield? Oh my lord! And then there's a play right after that where Thomas Fedoni just nice little like hip throw. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm not gonna
Does
lie.
anybody have that Fedoni clip?
I texted it in the group chat, Jacob.
The Fedoni one or the
Fedoni
Bortles
one.
Fedoni
The
throws down Travis Hunter.
The Fedoni one's good. I saw that at like the top of the screen at the end of the play, and I was like, oh! No one else saw it, but it was sick.
Yeah,
I can't
Travis Hunter is a phenomenal athlete. But man, he can get bullied. He's a pretty slim dude, and he doesn't seem too interested in being too physical.
Exactly. And I mean, I think they had a great game plan going. If we don't forget how to catch a football, going 2 miles per hour, but I mean, the whole game plan was literally just, I mean, out physical Travis Hunter, just go right at him, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, and they're giving it to him for a second. Then Jeff Sims turned into Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything we said too. Defense was fighting for their lives out there trying to save the game, but there's only so much you can do, and you got to again defend a 30-yard field.
Exactly. Twice.
Is that everything off your chest for right now, Andrew?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I just
want to make sure you can get it out.
Had to like Husker vomit real quick. So.
Yep. Understandable.
Yeah.
But with that, we will get into the picks. We'll start like we usually do, locks, dogs, and then we're just picking Saturday slate straight up, win-loss. So we'll start with the lock, and this week I am going to go with Iowa State on the road playing Ohio, and I'm going to go under 45.5 points because I think Iowa State has a great defense, and I think both offenses are somewhat incompetent, so I'm hoping that they slow the game down, and Ohio rushes the ball a ton too, so just run the clock. I think they can stand under that number.
My lock of the week this week is Northern Illinois covering 11.5 versus Nebraska. I don't know shit about Northern Illinois, but I know about Nebraska, and I don't think we can blow out a team. So I'm going to say NIU covering.
Good D line,
It's
apparently.
not that big. I mean, it's been a long time since Nebraska's won a game by more than one score.
Yeah.
So my lock of the week is Florida State, Boston College under 50. I saw Florida State play against what the hell team they playing?
They scored
Early on.
Southern Miss.
They scored more than 50 themselves last week. They scored like 66.
They played
You
Southern
don't know
Miss.
about Boston College's defense.
Oh, sorry. My lock. I'm gonna go with Brad. Like just texted me like 2 minutes ago, so I'm gonna say K-State to cover by 5 points against Mizzou. Go Wildcats, baby. Go Wildcats.
Great lock.
For my lock, I have Michigan State plus 16 against Washington. Coach is gone, and Washington's not going to go in there and just beat the shit out of Michigan State. It's going to be a close one. Doing it for Mel.
I gotta disagree with you on that one, but
Trust me. I know.
all right.
Hey,
Alante Brown for 200 yards.
Sidebar on that. Is it still the Mel Tucker Sweat Award?
Well, he's
Oh.
sweating.
Oh, that's not good.
He's sweating.
Can we do the Mel Tucker whack-off award?
He's also breathing hard. Yeah,
I don't know. Brett Bielema's sweating pretty hard this week. So
I think
that's a good point.
I actually think it's offensive that we have a podcast that supports Mel Tucker. I think we need to change the name of the award. Or
I think it's the Brett Bielema Sweat Award.
we need. Do you guys want to get canceled? Because I don't.
I think we've
Good
been
point,
canceled
good
all
point.
season.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
that's fair.
We'll make it the Brett Bielema Sweat Award, and then we'll just make a new Mel Tucker whack-off award, and he's winning right now.
and then we're not canceled.
He's the only part.
And we're not canceled.
He's the only participant.
My lock of the week this week is going to be the Iowa Western Michigan under 42.5. I don't think Western Michigan is going to score that much, if any. So Iowa would have to score 45 points themselves. So
Good pick, Brad. I'm riding with Andrew here. I got the Kansas State spread. FanDuel's got it at -4.5 right now. So seems like a no-brainer. They're going to take down Missouri.
That's fair. I like those locks. Now we move on to the dogs. This is any team, whether it's +1 point or +1 million, any dog that you think can win. I'm going to go Indiana +10.5 on Louisville. I think Indiana, they had like 40 transfers come in this year. They're showing they're a bit better than they were last season. I think they got a chance against Louisville.
Yeah, the disrespect on that pick is unreal. But I'm going to go Purdue +2.5 versus Syracuse is my dog of the week.
Dude, I'm kind of pissed because I also have Indiana +10. I'm going to take a shot this week. +10's that's a lot of points. That could set me up nice.
We could get a good amount of points, certainly.
I was really hoping I'd be the only person that had that because I really like this dog.
Me too.
All right. I just kind of found this one. Little iffy on it, but it's a fun one. I'm gonna take UMass over Eastern Michigan. Give me the Minutemen, baby. Let's go.
What's the number on that, Andrew?
ESPN's got it at 9.
FanDuel's got it at 9.5.
Yeah. Give me the 9.5, baby. Let's go.
All right, for my dog, I got Missouri +5 at home against K-State. Missouri is always a tough place to play on the road, so give me the Tigers.
my dog this week, I've got Georgia Southern +19 against Wisconsin. We all know too well that Georgia Southern has beat a Big Ten opponent and played spoiler. So I'm going to go with them.
Brad going for the home
Big
run.
points, big points.
Not
Yeah.
bad at all. Not bad.
I
at
don't mind
all,
that
Brad.
pick, except that Wisconsin's coming off a loss to Wazoo, so I think they're going to floor the shit out of Georgia Southern. My dog of the week, I kind of talked about it a little earlier. I'm going Minnesota +7 over the Tar Heels. I just think Big Ten football is going to come to play in North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and North Carolina struggled last week against App State.
All right, good dogs. And then before we get into our picks real quick, we can do a record breakdown on everything. If we got that pulled up on the sheet.
Yeah, sorry, let me unmute myself. All right, so last week, shout out Redmond for joining. So I'll go for the record last week. So Max went 10-4. Isaiah went 9-5. Headley went 10-4. A couple good weeks there. Redmond went 9-5. So Andrew, that's your number to beat there.
That's a good score. That's respectable, Red.
That is. And then Connor went 9-5. I did the worst. I went 8-6. Devin went 10-4. For the locks last week, Max, Headley, Connor, and myself hit the locks. Isaiah and Headley both hit their underdogs. So for
Huge bounce back week for me there.
gigantic bounce back week for Headley. Shout out Headley.
But also, my my futures for the season are both looking good. I'm 2-0 on both my over regular season wins.
My futures are looking really good as well, actually.
Proud of you
My
guys.
futures are also looking really good.
My future's
Um,
looking terrible.
So Max
Isaiah's
is
got
23
Colorado under.
Max is 23-11 on the year so far. Isaiah's 24-10. Headley is 19-15. Connor is 23-11. I am 19-15. And then Devin is 20-14. And then Max is 2-0 for his locks. Isaiah is 0 for 2 for his locks. Fade Isaiah. Headley is 1 for 1. 1-1. Connor is 2-0, so bet Max's and Connor's. I am 1 for 1 or 1-1, and Devin is 1-1 as well. So that is the update.
What about the dog?
Headley's 1 dog for 7 points, and everybody else doesn't really matter.
Yep.
If you're
Isaiah's
talking
got
about that
both,
live,
wait till
Isaiah's got
White
both
Flag
his
now.
dogs,
It'll-
but he will not bet on them.
hey, I'm just saying if you want to bet on underdog, just or do you
Don't listen to Isaiah, because if he's not going to
Prove
bet
it
his
all
own
season,
underdog,
Isaiah. Prove it all
you shouldn't
season.
bet it
But
either.
do
I
you
just
2.5?
can we get a tally on that? How many
Hey,
times
Headley-
Isaiah been
Headley and I are
up on the
about to take over that spot with 1 game, so
Hey,
relax.
I did bet on
I don't know.
Wazoo.
I don't know. I
I
don't
did bet
know.
on Wazoo.
Give me
It's a
Georgia
long
Southern
season for
plus
dogs,
19,
man. They're a
baby.
lot.
Hey, I had a
They're a
6-leg
lot more
parlay with Wazoo, and they got it. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, let's get into our picks.
Someone get this guy.
Picking straight up. Saturday, big noon kickoff, but the show is not going to be there because they are riding Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders hard. So they will be back in Boulder. Penn State at Illinois. And I got the Nittany Lions taking the dub.
Yeah, Nittany Lions easily.
Penn State.
Yeah, no question.
Yep, I'll give Penn State 1 more win before Iowa comes it down.
Yeah, Penn State.
Penn State.
5 or 6.
Next, number 15, Kansas State, favored by 5 at Missouri. Renewal of a old Big 12 matchup. I got the Wildcats taking this one, but I think it's going to be a really good, really fun game.
Yeah, I agree with Max. I'm also going K-State here. I think it'll be a really fun game to watch.
I got Kansas State as well.
K-State, baby, let's go. Go Cats.
I'm doubling down on my dog. I got Missouri.
I got K-State.
Let's go Kansas State.
Next, the spread pick for the week. Large amount of points here for Alabama coming off a loss at USF, taking on a group of 5 school at that school. I think Alabama's going to cover that. Nick Saban, he gets pissed after a loss, so he's going to pile it on.
I agree. Nick Saban is pissed. Doesn't even matter that they're playing at USF. They are covering the spread.
I got him covering as well.
You know, I would love to side with you guys on this, but I've played way too much NCAA 14. USF was my team. I'm currently in a game right now versus Duke. I'm 10 years in, never lost a game, 137-0. Alabama's obviously going to win, but USF, they're going to cover. The Raymond James Stadium is going to be rocking. The pirate ship, baby. Let's go. Go Bulls.
I'm with you, Andrew. Alabama, they've never played a road game at a group of 5 school. They're not going to know how to react. They're going to win still, but they ain't covering.
No, Alabama is going to throttle USF.
Nope.
Yeah, no shot. They don't cover this spread. It's too low.
Now we move on to Minnesota at number 20, North Carolina. A really interesting non-conference matchup. here. I like this game. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to take North Carolina, though. I think Drake May is going to be a little too strong. He's better than Caliac Manis.
Drake May.
I've got Minnesota.
Yeah, I'd love to see Minnesota win it because I can't stand Mac Brown, but I got UNC here.
I got North Carolina. I think they're going to cover too. Minnesota has not looked very good.
I would agree with Connor. I think UNC is going to win, and they will cover.
I got the Gophers.
Now,
You mean the
Virginia-
Wombats?
The Gophers.
Now Virginia Tech at Rutgers, another intriguing ACC Big Ten non-conference game. I think Rutgers has the best offense that they have had over the last 5 years under Schiano, so I'm going to take Rutgers.
Yeah, I picked Virginia Tech last week versus Purdue, so I'm taking Rutgers this week.
I got the Rutgers.
Yeah, if it was at Virginia Tech with a little Enter Sandman playing, maybe Virginia Tech, but I'm gonna go Rutgers.
Yeah, I'm going with Vegas and Rutgers here too.
Going Rutgers.
I'm also going with Vegas and going Rutgers.
That is a curse if I've ever seen one. Congratulations, Virginia Tech.
Let's put the house on that one. Lock of the week.
Yo, sorry, New Jersey.
Virginia Tech
Now,
plus 6.5.
Now, a rematch of last year these two teams played, and Washington kind of handled things in Seattle. This time it's in East Lansing. I think Washington and Michael Penix, man, that offense is too strong. I like Washington to win this game pretty big.
Yeah, I could not agree more. We're going Washington here.
I think Washington's going to take care of business.
Yeah, I'm also going Washington here.
Yeah, I got Washington, but look at the Power 6 curse. The plus 16 is looking good.
Yeah, I'm going Washington.
You want me to go Michigan State, Connor, just to remove
Do it.
June?
It don't matter. It don't really
No.
matter.
Devin
No.
wants to lose in the picks.
If
Yeah, you don't have to do
Washington,
this, man.
if Washington loses this game, it's their own damn fault. I'm going with the Huskies, baby.
Plus
Now we-
16 is good.
Now we get on to Tennessee, favored by 6.5 at Florida. This spread surprised me a little bit. I thought this would be at least a double-digit spread, right around 10 points. So maybe, I don't know. Vegas is scaring me a little bit, but I'm still going to go with the balls.
I don't understand this spread because Graham Mertz is literally terrible. I'm going Tennessee easily.
I got Tennessee.
I got a little explanation on the spread here. Apparently, Tennessee almost didn't cover against Austin P last week, and apparently Bazooka Joe looked absolutely awful. I'm still gonna pick Tennessee because Graham Mertz is terrible, but it's gonna be closer than people think for sure.
I got Tennessee also.
I got Tennessee, and this could be an honorary or honorable mention for a lock.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee. They're going to the swamp, but I just think they're the better football team.
Here we go, cursing them again.
Next, Syracuse at Purdue, another rematch of what was a unbelievably good game last year. This one, honestly, a coin flip. I'm going to take Purdue just because it's in West Lafayette. I think it'll be a good atmosphere.
I'm going to double down on my dog this week. I got Purdue. You know, as Headley said last week, we support the Big Ten.
Yeah, I've got Purdue because it just means more.
Love the Big Ten. Syracuse is my basketball school. Go Qs, baby.
Yeah, I got the orange as well.
Yeah, I'm going Syracuse as well.
Boiler up, baby. Let's go Purdue.
Now the backyard brawl. Can't wait for this one. One of the great rivalries in college football. Tons of hatred between these two schools. And I'm going to take West Virginia because I think at home, man, their fans are going to be rocking. Pitt's going to be intimidated.
Max just took the words out of my mouth. I'm going Virginia or West Virginia just because it's at home.
I got the Pitt.
I'm going with Max and Isaiah here. Keep it moving.
I got Pitt.
My favorite NFL player of all time went to Pitt, so I'm going to go with Pitt.
Ooh,
That was-
James Conner.
That was for you, Larry Fitzgerald.
You're a big
Oh,
Kenny
not
Pickett
James
fan
Conner.
or what?
If you're listening, Larry, that was for you.
Big
know, Larry.
Aaron Donald.
I've actually looked at the podcast analytics, and he does listen to the show. So
Hey, look at that. Hey, thanks, Larry.
Yeah, he's one of the regulars. Larry, appreciate you
fan.
listening.
day one.
Big pickleball guy. Big pickleball guy. Fun fact.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Next, TCU at Houston. This is a conference game this year. Houston's in the Big 12. I think TCU is just good enough to get the job done.
Yeah, the spread on this game is 7.5, and I'm scared, but I'm still going TCU. But I don't think they're going to cover. They don't look very good this year.
TCU for sure. Almost a lock.
Yep. Keep it moving. Exactly what Headley said.
Muted. Connor, you're muted.
TCU. Shit. I thought you were talking about Brad.
Iowa fans, am I right? God.
God.
Ugh.
I'm going to be different here. I'm going to pick Houston. Could work out. Could not. Who knows?
Houston got beat by Rice last weekend. At one point, they were down 28-0. I'm surprised they even came back. We're going with the Horned Frogs.
Sounds like a bounce back week for 'em.
Gave up a one-handed grab to what former Nebraska quarterback?
McCaffrey, baby,
That touchdown was insane.
Wide
Isn't it a
receiver.
shocker that he worked out as a receiver.
Hey,
Worked
Scott,
out.
Props to Scott Frost, man. He saw a receiver in that guy, and look at him now.
Dude, that catch was insane. And his helmet came off.
It was pretty cool.
And then our last game before we get into the Husker game, we got BYU traveling to SEC country in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The Pigs favored by 9.5, and I think they get the job done because it just means a little bit more.
Like Headley said, down south, it means more. I got the Pigs.
I got the pig suey.
Pig suey, baby. Keep it moving.
I don't think it really means that much more. I think they're just better. I got Pigs.
Yeah, I got Arkansas.
I am
Like
also
Arkansas.
going.
There's
Seems
a
like
lot
an
of
easy
curses
pick.
out there this week.
BYU's got
Yeah, we have.
other things in their priority list, and it ain't football. It means more down south.
All right. Last but not least, and we'll give a score prediction with this game as well, like we usually do for the Huskers. Northern Illinois coming to Lincoln. First home game of the Matt Rhule era. How about that? That's exciting. Nebraska favored by 11.5, 12.5, depends on where you look at it. I'm going to take Nebraska to win 28-3. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think our offense is going to get a late touchdown there to make it 28-3, and I think our defense is going to do what they do.
I think our offense is going to play like they have the first 2 weeks. Defense is going to be tired. I'm going Nebraska here, but I'm like I said, Northern Illinois is my lock to cover 11.5. I got 24-17 SKERS.
In Nebraska.
Score.
Yeah.
Yes, score him.
20-12.
All right. Little unconventional there. I'm gonna go Nebraska 27-13. Northern Illinois, sneaky good group of 5 school though. Got a weird roster, but I think we just out athlete them.
Nebraska's going to squeak one by 24-21.
Huge for the program.
Yeah, I think massive for the program. I think Nebraska will win, but I don't think they actually cover. So I'm going to go a low scoring 17-10 because of our offense is so bad.
I think we get the Harburg show on Saturday. I think he plays well. The offense still sucks, only puts up 28 points, and Northern Illinois gets 2 field goals, 28-6.
Nice. Nice. A lot of good.
Maybe a defensive touchdown too.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool. A little pick six action, maybe.
Maybe sick.
Ooh.
That would be fun.
I prefer a Nash Hutmacher. What is it? Fumble
Big
sack.
man touchdown.
Strip sack.
Scoop and
Strip
score.
sack. Strip sack. I want a Nash Hutmacher strip sack.
If anyone's getting a strip sack, it's gonna be Cam Lenhart. Let's be honest here. Come on now.
Cam Lenhart
Who's
has
a
been.
dog?
It's
Dude,
gonna be the Reimer if it happens.
Nebraska's D line has a bunch of dogs, man. Princewell, Lenhart.
I was gonna
Robinson,
say, it's the
Hushman.
4 freshmen that aren't playing.
Are they young?
Yeah.
Is our D line young?
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
2 freshmen that are getting true freshmen getting big time in Princewell, Uman Mielen, and Cam Lenhart.
Cam Lenhart.
Yeah,
And
those-
Riley Van Poppel played.
Riley Van Poppel got a
major
sack
snaps in
at
Colorado.
Colorado.
Who is the polar bear?
Polar Bear's
That's
Nash
Nash
Hutmacher.
Nash.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we got those 3 freshmen playing really well, and then we still got the veterans and Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher, and Blaze Gunnerson balling out too. That D line, man,
Nebraska.
they're giving up 1.9 yards per carry through 2 games, of the
Yep.
season, and they lead the nation in sacks.
I think Nash Hutmacher
Yep.
is my favorite player on this team.
Mine's still the
Honestly.
I would completely disagree with that, but that's
You-
okay.
Dude, you see that play when Luke Reimer coming out of the half just blew up Dylan Edwards and then killed Shador Sanders? It was
Yeah.
awesome. That was the coolest
That
play
defense-
of the year so far.
They're just feisty, man. They just want to kill every person that even looks at the ball on offense. They're fun to watch.
Just wait until the jack position gets going too. When you start getting Chief Borders, Jamari Butler, and MJ Sherman going,
Yeah.
watch out, Big Ten West. Watch out.
Can't wait to see what they do against NIU. That rhymed. Rocky Lombardi also threw a couple picks last week too, so hopefully our defense is looking advantageous at that. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Predictions, everything in. Hoping for a good result from Nebraska. I think they can get a win this week, and those have been few and far between over the last 6 years, so I really look forward to this game. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on, man. We can't wait to see how you do this week with the picks.
Thank you,
Thank
Andrew.
you. Thank you, boys.
It's always a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Throwing the bones for that great defense out there.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, boys.
All right, we'll
Thanks,
go ahead and
Andrew.
we'll go ahead and end things there. Big shout out again for Lindy for joining the show. Love having you here. You always have good insight. We joked last week with Redmond to be Power 7, but I think Lindy might be the better option here. But we'll go ahead and end things here. Hopefully Nebraska, hopefully this is a cupcake game. We get things cracking like 2 eggshell and get things rolling. We can still go 10-2. It's a possibility. With that being said, go Big Red and have a good weekend, guys.
Go Hawks.